You're the best.
Well, thank you very much, Batman. You've always been a 5-star in my mind. And the way that tight uniform of yours
Robin,
contours to your tight muscles.
We've had this discussion.
Showcases your striations.
Do not
It's very
compliment.
Very nice.
Robin.
Batman.
Robin, do not compliment my body. It's in the handbook.
I'm sorry,
We've
Batman.
talked about this.
It's just so
now I have to write you up again.
I know. I'm just sorry. When I see a 5-star, I gotta call it as I see it.
Robin.
Henceforth, I'll just look at you and say,
Robin, I appreciate that.
Batman, I do have one question, though.
What?
It appears as though somebody has left your body
What?
a 3-star Google review.
Who could possibly let my body a 3-star review? I'm Batman.
Maybe the Joker?
They will pay.
Maybe the Penguin? Maybe a scorned lover? Okay.
I don't need suggestions.
Well, you did ask.
Who could have possibly left me a 3-star review?
Okay.
That was a rhetorical question. Robin,
Well, Batman, what do you want to do about this?
we're going to get in the Batwing
Okay.
and the Batmobile
All right.
and in my Batsuit.
That's
And
3.
we're going to find this guy who left me a 3-star review.
That's right.
And we are going to tear him apart.
Batman, you got a crazy look in your eye. Are you sure this is the right decision?
Robin, history favors the bold. I'm the one who made the call to wear Speedos over my tights, and I will respond to this Google review with brutal force. Robin, to the Batmobile.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrive Time Show.
3, 2, 1, here we go!
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
Yes, and yes. You know, Thrive Nation, something exciting happened this week. There were 221 of you this week that reached out for one-on-one coaching. Now, let me tell you something about this, Thrive Nation, you wonderful people. Many of you are, Josh, it turns out a lot of the people who listen to this show are entrepreneurs.
Just a handful.
Yeah, there's about 500,000 of them, but they're entrepreneurs.
Yes, sir.
And they've been learning all this persistent stuff. And so when Julia tells them that I'm booked out, they don't believe her. So I want you to listen out there. If you're Thrive Nation, I appreciate you reaching out and saying that you'd like to be a one-on-one coaching client, and we want to help you. But Josh, at the conference, you were at the conference. Matt Kline was at the conference. You were sitting next to a guy at the conference, I believe, or you knew of a guy at the conference, Josh.
Yes, sir.
Who wanted me to help him do what you do.
Yes, sir. Precisely.
So I want to make sure the Thrive Nation gets this. We worked together for a couple years now.
Yep.
And you've grown from $300,000 in revenue to $1.8 million of revenue this year, getting close to 1.9.
Yes, sir.
Why would you not want me to work with your competition?
Because what you say and do works.
Uh-oh. And so if you're out there and you want to be a client and we're all booked out, you can come to a conference.
Yes, absolutely.
But the one-on-one thing, just when Julia tells you we're all booked out, just know that we're all booked out. Just like if you reach out, Matt, to buy an OXI Fresh and you tell somebody you're not available in their territory, Matt Kline with OXI Fresh, why would you not want to sell to 2 franchisees in the exact same territory using the exact same systems?
Yeah, because then you can't, for us in our franchise, one of the best things that we have is being able to share best practices. A lot of our competitors don't have protected territories, so they're not going to be able to lean on each other and help each other out and be able to share best practices. So, we'd want to look in that scenario at another type of franchise, maybe that would be close. But, yeah, we don't have the same territory ever sold to multiple people.
Matt, I want to ask you, man, you had never been to a Thrive Time Show conference previous to this last one you were at in December. Could you maybe explain from your perspective what the energy is like the moment you walk in the door?
Yeah, it was pretty amazing, and I always heard great things because I have a team here of people that have kind of been through that process and been involved with Thrive. But it was amazing. I mean, in my world, I'm always talking to people that want to be franchisees all the time. I was in a room of people that either were franchisees, driven, wanting to learn, asking a bunch of questions. I mean, there were questions like specific to territory, whatever industry they were in, and there was real answers being given. It was an environment that I've never really been in before. So not only, for me, it was an awesome thing to be in, but just being around a bunch of people all going for the same goal, which is, financial freedom and some success in their business. And you guys really put on a great event for a lot of people that just want to make their lives better. It was amazing.
Now, you've been to, how many conferences do you think you've been at since you joined the OXI Fresh team?
Gosh.
Seriously, because JB, John Barnett, your boss,
50.
JB loves conferences, and therefore you love conferences too. You've been to 50, you think? Probably 50?
Probably 50-ish.
How does our conference rank in those top 50? And if someone's better than us, tell us who was better so I can know.
Well, it's the best conference I've ever been to because you guys have a specific goal. Your goal is to help entrepreneurs get to the next step of their business, and you guys have actual action items to do it. Right? Most conferences are like, you're going to want to do these things, but there's no real action items, right? There's no follow-up beyond that. There's nothing you're doing to actually change your environment. It's just, these are things we need to do. And most people already know that, right? That's why they're probably at that conference. So you guys have addressed the problems. Here's the solution. Here's the path to do it. If you don't do it, then, don't waste our time. And I think that's a very, that's a good approach to where, you guys set the standard right there for at 5 o'clock in the morning, you walk in and there's, flames in the air and, you're ready to go. So
yeah, it was awesome a lot of fun. Now, Josh, what were you going to say there?
Yeah, so I had a gentleman call me just a couple hours ago, actually, before I came over here to the man cave. And he said, well, man, I see where you get it from now. I was like, okay. I was like, well, what are you talking about, buddy? And he had attended the conference with another person that works with us. And he said, I just see like the enthusiasm and the optimism and the passion. And I was like, yeah, you were kind of in a whole room of that, weren't you? And he was like, man, I just thought you were really, really weird. How you're always in such a good mood and always fired up and always doing things. And I said, yeah. I said, it's a quality, but it's not a super unique quality. That's how the room is. That's how entrepreneurs are. That's how driven and ambitious and motivated people are. And he's like, man, I love it. I love it.
I was told by a guy at the conference who I won't mention his name because I'm sure it was more of a private comment he made, but he said that his marriage is significantly better since being a client. And I asked why, and he goes, I actually scheduled time for my wife and my business, where before I didn't schedule time for either, and so we would just kind of drift around, and I was perpetually pissed off in both areas. So if you're out there and you are somebody who wants to take your life to the next level, get yourself to a Thrive Time Show conference. But guys, today I wanted to break down 4 Napoleon Hill quotes that, who's Napoleon Hill? Napoleon Hill is the father of self-help. He was the personal apprentice of Andrew Carnegie, the world's wealthiest man during his lifetime, and he was the father of self-help. People don't know this. There's a lot of people that aren't big fans of Napoleon Hill now because he was the best-selling self-help author of all time, but he was the coach or consultant of Oral Roberts, who started Oral Roberts University, where I went to college. He also worked with Franklin Delano Roosevelt to help him get out of the Depression. And if you listen to any self-help books or read audio books or read books, you're going to hear him quoted by more millionaires than anybody else. This guy has done very, very well with his book, and his book is called Think and Grow Rich. And Think and Grow Rich was so powerful that I named my son after Napoleon Hill. So my son's name is Aubrey Napoleon Hill Clark. And so I will read the first notable quotable, and then, Andrew, I will give you these beautiful pieces of paper so that you can type them on the show notes later. So here we go.
Perfect.
Whenever you meet a misfortune, put it into your past. Keep your mind upon future achievement, and you will find that the mistakes of the past often work to fill the future with good fortune. Again, one more time. Whenever you meet a misfortune, put it in your past. Keep your mind upon future achievement, and you will find that these past mistakes often work to fill the future with good fortune. Matt Kline, talk about when you run an OXI Fresh, if you buy the franchise and you're implementing every possible thing, eventually you're going to have a slip and fall injury accident. Eventually one of your employees is going to run into a curb and mess up a vehicle. Eventually a customer's not going to be happy. I mean, eventually, if you shoot enough free throws, If you're even great, if you're great at shooting free throws, even if you're great, you're only going to make 91% of them, 92% of them. So if you're a great carpet cleaning guy, you want to shoot for 100%, but I'm sure sometimes you miss the mark. What are those kind of average adversities that you have to be prepared to push through if you buy an OXI Fresh?
Yeah, and we will run across these. The more, the more locked in you are with your business, and the more you pay attention and have your thumb on the pulse and understand your employees, the less those things will happen. That's the first thing, right? So if you can eliminate those things just by the processes you put in place and how diligent you are in your business, you're already going to eliminate some of those. But they are going to happen. Like, for instance, pop a tire, right? These are silly little things that everybody in life goes through. But sometimes customers don't understand as well. So taking the time to call them ahead of time, making sure they understand the situation, solving the problem, right? They may have taken time off to get that job done, right? It's not ideal for them. But instead of saying, too bad, we'll come back later, they probably deserve something. Hey, give them an extra $25 discount for the next job that they do, or whatever it is. So it's being able to address the problem, fix it, make sure everybody's okay, and at the end of the day, make sure your customer's not only happy, but excited at the point that you went above and beyond to help them, because those things will happen, right? Procedurally with your franchise, when it comes to your employees, little things will happen, right? They're going to mess up from time to time. How you handle those things and how you learn from them will make sure that they don't keep happening, and it'll also build trust with your employees. So they'll happen. You just got to address them independently and just think of the whole scenario before you kind of overreact to anything.
What happens to the franchisees? And I'm sure there's none in the OXI Fresh system ever, but other people. What happens when somebody laments on something, when someone dwells on getting a bad review or dwells on the employee that quit? What happens when you find someone who just cannot get over the adversity?
Yeah, this does happen a lot. And I think some of it's pride as a new business owner. It usually happens with new business owners, right? That one, those mess ups can turn into a bad review. And if the bad review is not fixed, that might just stay on your page. And that's okay. Sometimes, as long as you tried hard and you did what's right by the customer, and let's just say they didn't take that review down, all you have to do is try your best, make it right, see if you can do whatever you can. But if it doesn't happen, just move on. Bury that bad review with 100 good reviews and forget about it. Every moment you spend on something you can't actually fix is time you're going to basically take away from things you can fix, right? Or that you can focus on. Spending time with your business, marketing, whatever it is. So you got to get over that stuff or it's going to kill you.
Interesting. Today, I got to tell you a good response here. Today, Matt, if you type in Thrive Time Show Jinx, I want to show you something. And by the way, folks out there, if you get a chance to learn more about Mr. check out. So I want you to Google search Thrive Time Show and the word Jinx. Because, Matt, a lot of times trolls can just hide behind reviews. And I'm sure account got hacked. But let's look at. It had to have been hacked, Matt. But you see the most recent reviews here? You see my most recent reviews on the Thrive Time Show? You see how 251 reviews in the past 24 hours? All of which are 3 stars. Do you see this guy? Look at his reviews.
Uh-huh.
So homeboy has left.
Okay.
Look at all the reviews he's left. And he's
495 photos, too. He's
look at him. And he did it all within 24 hours. Now, I would like to ask you objectively, Matt Kline, what do you think's going on with Mr. account? He surely had to have been hacked because he definitely didn't come to the workshop we just did. I actually know this person who he is. And turns out he's not a good fit to be a client. But, Matt, when you tell someone they're not a good fit to be a client, what do you have to be doing? I mean, Josh, what do you think someone's doing when they leave 251 reviews in 24 hours?
Well, I think they may have had a little too much to drink, or maybe a little bit too much of the new medical marijuana potentially.
I mean, seriously, Matt, if you wanted to leave, if you decided Andrew, if you decided, seriously, what decision would you have to make? Matt, cause and effect. Andrew, cause and effect. What would you have to do first to get yourself into a mindset needed to leave 251 reviews within a 24-hour period of time?
You'd need some sort of substance, or you would have absolutely nothing to do it looks like he was doing this for a span of like 6 hours straight.
Yeah. Well, I text somebody
crazy
here.
Long amount of time.
I text somebody. I reached out to this person and I said, who knows them? And I sent. I'll read the text message. I sent the text, and Andrew, if you could read it back without cursing, because I know you're not a cursor, and I don't want you to start cursing. You're not the kind of guy that would curse. You're not. But could you read this here, and then don't mention the name in there. Just but read the text out loud. This comes to us from someone who knows him, because I said, hey, I haven't seen this guy in a long time, and he's not a client, and I know he's really never been a client, but you know him. Could you tell me what's my text said what, Andrew? What did my text say?
So it says because he's an.
But what did my text say? What did my text him
that's the
say?
one. Oh, him.
But don't say his name. What does my text say?
Hey, dude, is there a reason why? Yep, left us a 3-star review yesterday.
That's what I wrote.
Yep.
And then this guy says what? And then what does my guy say? And what does he say?
He says because he's an. Haven't spoken to him in over a year. He was a big problem with our business, and the reason I'm grinding our way back to profitability. He's no longer a part of. You're 5-star in my book, and I hope to be able to work with
So
you all
interesting. So
in
the guy
future.
that hired me says I'm a 5-star. But this guy who isn't in charge, look at the reviews. Andrew, read the companies he's left reviews for in the last 24 hours, please, because I've been busy.
Bob's Bikes.
Bob's Bikes. What city? Read the business and then the city, please.
That's in Kansas.
Next one.
Kingman, Kansas. We've got what is it? Heinz grocery store.
Yeah, where's that?
It looks like that's in where is that? Mayfield Village, wherever that is.
Next one.
Somewhere northeast. We've got Academy and Wichita Sports, 4 stars. Renee's Restaurant, 4 stars. It's in Kansas. Sweet Alley Bees, Limestone Beer Company in Kansas. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. It's got only 3 stars in
Are
Arkansas.
you kidding me? Ruth's Chris is getting a
Ruth's
three
Chris is
star?
the place.
I mean, gotta be. He's got some serious standards. I mean,
Has
wanna
been
go
to
which
Ruth's
one he
Chris?
gave a five-star review. Look, I'm trying to find
oh
it.
my
It's
gosh.
impossible.
No,
looking.
you can't. He won't give you one. Is merciless. It's merciless.
He went
Oh,
to
wait.
he went to a beauty salon.
He gave a 5-star review to a Marriott Pilsen in Czechoslovakia.
I'm sure he's
Is
been
this-
there.
The Twin Peaks in West Wichita is
The Twin
only
Peaks,
2 stars.
He goes there. He's a man of class and standards.
Classy man.
Thank you. Oh. What else has been recently?
Looks like Germany. He's out in Germany.
He's been to Germany?
He's
Incredible. You know, I reported to
Spent
Google.
a lot of time
I
giving
listen.
reviews
I
in
reported to
Germany.
Google that his account has to be hacked
I
because there's
agree.
nobody that I know
Yep.
who's been to Czechoslovakia and to New York and Kansas and was it Russia and
Arkansas.
Twin Peaks and Arkansas. Keep reading, please, because I think his account has been hacked because nobody in their right mind would leave 251 reviews in 24 hours. I mean, nobody. You know, Andrew, nobody.
Nobody.
No, doesn't do that. His account has been hacked.
Right. Yes. Did not do
Okay,
this.
continue,
Somebody
please.
else did. Looks like someone went to Austria. Festenjörg von something or other. Then we got
That was
the
a
North
perfect
Face.
pronunciation.
Thank you.
Perfect.
And then we went to the North Face in Germany. And then we got a nice photo. I got a hotel in downtown Munich, Germany. Then we've got some more stuff I can't pronounce. A lot of stuff from Germany. Went to a lot of places in Germany. Looks like he went to a motor museum in Germany.
Or whoever's hacking his account is
Right,
gonna
not
be- right.
looks like he went to Cabela's.
Now the guy who knows him is saying the is not a nice guy. But not
Yeah,
this. This is a different.
No, you're right. The other
There's a different. There's so many.
cousins or brothers.
So what I want to point out though, and I want to point this out, the listeners out there understand this idea.
Yeah.
You gotta, whenever you meet misfortune, you gotta put it in the past. And so you say, well, you're not putting it in the past, you're dwelling on it. No, I'm having fun with this. This is good times. This for me is entertainment because I look here, and this is my response we wrote this morning. John wrote, he says, you've left 251 reviews, most of which are 3-star reviews, and none have any explanation. In the past 24 hours about businesses from all over the world, Belgium, New York, Austria, Tulsa, Cleveland, Ohio, Kansas, etc., which seems highly suspicious. Maybe your account got hacked. Now,
That's the only logical solution.
It's the only
It's
logic.
looking like it.
What I'm saying is I could make my day upset. It could flavor my day. My day could be like positive with a slight of bitter. You know, it could be really sweet with a side of bitterness. So, Matt, how do you get over getting bad reviews from people, you know, like...
Yeah. This one's pretty simple to me. Like I said, try your best to get it fixed. But even if you do or don't, bury your good reviews with good reviews.
Oh,
you should always be burying your current reviews with new ones. That keeps you relevant, right? It keeps you up to date. It makes sure that, whoever's looking at your business knows that you got a review this week, yesterday, today, not 6 months ago, a year ago. Keeps you relevant. So regardless, good or bad reviews, your goal should be to bury new reviews all the time with better reviews, constantly. And then you don't have to worry about it.
It was really funny, but we had a client we work with right now called Keystone Harbor. And Keystone Harbor was represented by Ron Howell. You remember this, Andrew? Ron Howell's our client for Keystone.
Yeah.
And a web guy named everyone should look him up too.
Oh,
and
no.
This happened to too. So I reached out to Ron Howell and told Ron Howell, or he sent emails to all my clients.
Yeah.
This is what he did. He sent emails to all my clients, and he told them that Keystone Harbor's very upset with me because he's talked to the ownership, and they're very upset. And that if he would advise that you shouldn't be a Clay Clark client because of all the shady stuff I'm up to. And so I got a copy of the email, and I called on a recorded phone line. But he did not know it was recorded. But I'm in Oklahoma. It's a one-way state. So I called him, and in the call, he stated that he was willing to do whatever it takes. He doesn't care about ethics. He's going to take me down. He's tired of seeing my name in Tulsa. And Mr. Howell, we did a show where Mr. Howell hopped on the show and talked about how he loves us and how he has no idea who Kenzie is, other than that he applied for a job, but because he had so many arrests, he couldn't hire him because he had so many previous arrests.
Weird.
And so I optimized for name, and now he's not relevant in Google anymore.
That was a good time.
And I actually got clients from it who said, "I appreciate your boldness." So if you're out there, okay, and you're a Donald Trump or you're a OXI Fresh or you're a Barack Obama or you're anybody who's doing anything, there's a certain amount of rejection that comes with it. And the only way to avoid criticism is to say nothing, do nothing, and be nothing, according to Aristotle. If you're going to build anything great at all, you have to get to a place where you're comfortable with the haters, the people who do not want you to succeed. And because T.D. Jakes could not be on today's show, I have an audio clip from his recent sermon called The Master Builder by Bishop T.D. Jakes. I encourage everybody to check out this sermon called The Master Builder by Bishop T.D. Jakes. Check out what he has to say about dealing with the people that resent you and the success that you have created.
Okay, if you're going to build something that's going to last, are you strong enough to withstand the men who resent what you built? Are you tough enough to withstand the obvious, inevitable criticism that comes because some men built? Or is winning their approval more important to you than building something that is solid, maybe because you got daddy issues? And any form of criticism or rejection reinforces rejection you already had. And so you make the goal changing the mind of somebody who doesn't matter.
And Matt, I mean, when you played basketball at a very high level in high school, did you ever get booed by the opposing fans?
Oh, yeah. Stuff thrown at you, booed, tell you suck.
Who are the meanest fans
let
you
alone
had?
miss a shot.
Who are the meanest fans that you played against where you thought, wow, that right there is a mean group of people?
Yeah, Gonzaga was pretty brutal. The Scarlet Knights in New Jersey were pretty bad. Let me see. Sometimes your own fans can be brutal.
Yeah, I feel bad for all the players who play for Philadelphia in any professional sport. I mean, those fans, they are rough.
Think about old little brother Manning win 2 Super Bowls. They want to throw him off the field.
Unbelievable. So, again, I don't care what you do. If you're great at anything or you aspire to be great, you're going to have haters. Now, there's 2 options. And I would encourage you, if you're out there, if you're a Christian, read that Bible, figure it out. If you're not a Christian, figure out the rule book for you. But I always want to do unto others as I would have them do unto me. That's what I want to do. So what I want to do is I want to do the test. And the test is this. I want you right now, I want all the listeners right now to find a company that I've left a review on. Okay? go to thrivetimeshow.com and look for my review I wrote about my own company. I want everyone to find the review I wrote about my own company on the Thrive Time Show. And Andrew, I'm going there myself right now so I can find. I'm clicking on reviews, and this is what I wrote. I love the impact we were able to have in people's lives and the process of taking a vague concept or barely surviving business and turning it into an actual thriving and scalable business. That's what I wrote. Now, I want you to see how many other reviews I've left from my email address, which, by the way, listeners, my email address is founder@thrive15.com, founder@thrive15.com. You can find, and you see, Andrew, how many other reviews have I left up here? Do you see that?
It looks like 378 contributions.
Me?
Yeah.
Do I have bad reviews? Have I left bad reviews? Could you please tell on me if I have?
I'm scrolling through, and I have
feel
not
like
yet
I have
seen
never
one.
have, because whenever I have a problem with a company, I reach out to the ownership or the management. I reach out to people like the owner of the company or the manager. I was out to eat the other night.
Yep.
Matt, we went to a nice restaurant the other night with you and Michael Levine and the head of the largest home building company in Oklahoma, Aaron Antis, and John Kelly and Luke and his wife and my wife. It was a fun time. Aaron's wife was there, and again Michael Levine was there. And I ordered a beverage, and I noticed that the bartender seemed to be busy. So Matt, you probably saw me. I got up and got my own beverage, and then I came back, and I wasn't mad. He just was busy, and I ordered another beverage because it was faster. And if I wasn't happy, I would have said, "Hey, I'm not happy." But I wasn't unhappy. I just wanted the service faster. And then I left, and because I'm I guess a jerk. I don't know what I am. I didn't leave a bad review. Does that mean you're a jerk? I'm confused in the world we live in. Am I a bad guy? Matt, am I a bad guy if I'm not hypercritical of other people's businesses and blindsiding them with bad reviews without first trying to give them an opportunity to solve it? Does that make me a bad person?
It makes you certainly not very understanding.
So you're saying that is the cultural norm now, Josh, to leave a bad review before you give the business the opportunity to make it right?
Absolutely, positively. We went and had a chance to pick up lunch today. The lunch was late. The restaurant opened late. And I simply told the young man that was with me, "Hey, man, I feel so bad for that manager. He's obviously having an off day. Things are going a little rough." I said, "So we have a choice now. We can leave him a scathing review or call corporate or go through all that, or just see what we can do to try to help encourage him and move on, because there's going to be plenty of other people out there, because society wants to beat people down as opposed to raise people up and lift people up."
So when we went out to dinner there, I mean, Matt, we've all had bad service and good service at a restaurant. Matt,
Sure.
If you have bad service, what's the Matt Kline ethic, or how do you approach it? Do you immediately go online and bomb the internet with bad reviews, or do you try to resolve it first?
I'm pretty laid back, so I as someone that owns a company and realizes that people have bad days, it's not for me to judge on any other experience than my own. So I truly try to just talk to the person, say, "Hey, I know there's a few things that have been missed here. Is there something going on? Can you, So I just try to talk about them. Even at the worst I've ever seen, it would take a small natural disaster for me to leave a bad review. I just empathize with small business, and I realize that, not every day is the best, and I have a lot of interaction. So most of the time I go places I have a great interaction. So I just, I kind of let things just go.
So when was the last time you had a Jeff Finn moment?
Ooh,
Were you
Jeff
left?
Finn.
Yeah.
Well,
where you left 251 bad
sometimes
reviews
I
in a row?
I don't know if I've ever left a bad review. 250, I would have to be in a pretty weird mental space. 9 hours leaving reviews.
Or your
You
account
probably
could have
can't
got
check on
hacked.
me. That might be. Yeah, account got hacked. That's certainly something, but you'd have to check on me if I gave more than 10 reviews negatively in a day. You would.
Well, here's the
probably have to
deal.
cancel
I
me
went
for
to
next week's podcast.
the Bluestone Steakhouse and Seafood, and I loved the food, Andrew. I loved the food.
It was great.
So I did. I love the food. But then if I had an issue, which I didn't, but if I did, I would give the company the opportunity to make it right. But I'm just saying, what we need to do as listeners right now is we all need to go to thrivetimeshow.com. We need to click on just search for Thrive Time Show and the word Jinx. Search for that. Find our Google map there. Find it, and then look for the most recent reviews, and you'll see one from and then when you find the review, what I want you to do is I want you to look at all the companies that he's left a review for in the past 24 hours. I mean, again, it's 251 in 24 hours. think about the places. I mean, the world travels. I mean, this guy, at one moment, he had an epiphany, and it was like, I need to leave a review for every place that I've ever been to and places that I haven't been to. And you're like, calm down. And he said, no, I can't calm down because this is what I was called to do. I have a vision. I will pull an all-nighter, leaving reviews about every business I've been to. Businesses in Russia, businesses in Michigan, businesses in Wichita, in Oklahoma. People I have not met with for years. I'm going to leave a review on behalf of I used to work for a guy who loves Clay Clark, but since I wasn't the client, I wasn't the one paying, I'm going to leave a bad review. Oh, yes, because I've got something up. And now, I'll leave another one because I've only left 122 reviews, and I've got 251 to leave before I had a vision. I had a vision. I have a vision that someday my kids will know that I am the man who left 251 reviews in a single night. All around the world, folks, because on my tombstone, I want it to read, here lies the man who left 251 reviews. Okay. You could turn it into a teaching moment, or you could dwell on it, but we move on. Napoleon Hill Notable Quotable number 2. He says this, Matt Kline. He says, deliberately seek the company of people who influence you to think and act for yourself. Okay, here we go. Deliberately seek the company of people who influence you to think and act for yourself. I want to get your take on this. In the business coaching world, I never tell clients, hey, look, you need to take your wife on a date every weekend. I don't say that. I don't say that you shouldn't. I don't say you should have 5 kids. I don't say you shouldn't. I don't say you should have a big house or a small house. I just encourage people to think independently and say, what do you want your F6 life to look like? What do you want your goals to be for your faith, your family, your finances, your fitness, your friendship, and your fun? Matt, talk about this as a franchise brand developer. When it comes time to selling somebody or awarding somebody a franchise, I think a lot of what you have to do is to deliberately help people to think and act for themselves, empower them with the knowledge, and then not try to sell them a franchise, but to see if it's the right fit. Talk to me about that balance, because obviously you make a commission if somebody buys one, and you guys want them to buy one, and you guys make residual ongoing revenue. If they do well, you make a percentage of the revenue. What's the balance between, forcing someone to go, oh, wow, you definitely want to buy this, and then just presenting them with the information? And, because I think you almost at this point with OXI Fresh, you don't try to sell anybody anything. It's just kind of, here's the information. Is it a good fit? Talk to me about that balance.
Yeah, there is a balance. And so, before we even really get into OXI Fresh, I try my best to learn as much as I can about that individual, because it is a one-off situation. Every single person is unique in their past experiences, what they've done in their life, their financial background, maybe their home life, right, where they're at in the country. So all those things will kind of add up to a story. We're trying to get to a story where this partnership could work together. And that partnership is not one-sided. We're not going to literally tell you every single day, this is what you have to do this, do this, do this. It's like, we're going to train you on all the supporting tools that we have to make you successful. What you do with those will dictate how successful you are. So you're very right. I mean, we are having very intimate conversations about what people are good at, what people are maybe not good at, right? We're building the case if this business can become a partnership that can take you to business ownership and financial freedom. So you are exactly right, Clay. We are going through the process as if almost we're like dating, right? We're learning so much about each other before that business even becomes a reality.
I think this is powerful. It's a powerful teaching moment for somebody. Because, Josh, we got to a point, we had a meeting together.
Yes, sir.
And you and I, just so the listeners know, Josh and I don't have to agree on every single thing. And my job, though, is to help you grow your business so that whatever you and your wife agree on, you can go do.
That's right.
That's what we're doing. And, again, it says here, Napoleon Hill says, deliberately seek the company of people who influence you to think and act for yourself. Talk to me about how coaching helps you do that and in terms of thinking on your own.
I think the big thing is it got us. I mean, I think if you overall it, and if I had people at the conference walking up and asking me a bunch of questions, which was entertaining. But I think if I were to truly, sincerely define what has our 2-year relationship been, it has been the F6. Everything besides fitness. Don't everybody look at me about fitness, but we'll talk about that in the future. But anyway,
let's talk about fitness real quick. I want to talk about that real quick because this is powerful. Fitness is powerful. I have a lot of my clients that are talking about, hey, man, I want to achieve my fitness goals.
Right.
And then I see some people who are unbelievably jacked, find like fitness, they're unbelievable great shape, and they have no money. Or people that have a ton of money and no fitness. And it's kind of like it's really easy to spend a lot of time focused on fitness once you have the money available to and the time back.
Sure.
Or, you know what I'm saying? There's a balance there. And I think all of us, if we're not careful, we compare and we go, God, I'm not where that guy is physically. Well, what you might not know,
Right.
and Clint Howard could vouch for this, at Tulsa Fitness Systems, a lot of his really jacked clients, Matt, are some rich guys who they're like,
Yep.
yeah, I'll work out tomorrow at 11 a.m. through 1. Does that work for you? You know, and they don't care what it costs per session, you know. So a little bit of that. I think you just finished the Crucible, so I'm impressed that you don't look like Jabba the Hutt. I mean, seriously, you went through the all-nighter phase here, where
That was a good time.
You went through that though, didn't you?
But I think that's where you look if you're deliberate and about whom you surround yourself with, and then you go and define those things for yourself. I got to say it this weekend at the conference. You know, don't define your life based on everybody who surrounds you. Just define your own personal goals. And so Amy and I, we have determined what we want for our financial goals, what we want for our family and our faith and our fun. And we spend a lot of time on the fun these days, and it's fantastic. But we were able to do those things by spending time with someone like you on the accountability. You know, that was the one thing is, okay, Josh, so you've said you want to do this, 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 and this. These were the things you told me, Josh. So I'm going to hold you to those things that you go accomplish those things.
This is powerful for somebody out there. So I ask you out there, if you're listening right now, make this actionable. So point one, how quickly do you rebound? When bad things happen, are you still dwelling on after the show, we're done talking about it. But for a while, we have to talk about it. It's a good teaching moment. I feel like the listeners out there need to know how to respond to bad reviews, so you can read my review response, that kind of thing. But I think it's also, you got to move on. The second action item is, are you thinking independently? Are you going the wrong way? You know, according to Gallup right now, it's not fun, but 70% of people hate their jobs. According to Inc. magazine, not good stats, 96% of businesses fail. So are we thinking, are we asking ourselves, why am I stuck? Or are we just accepting it as it is? Are we thinking that we can improve our lives, or do we feel like we're just kind of stuck? Now, my final two Napoleon Hill Notable Quotables, the first one comes at us from Matt Kline. So here we go. Know thyself, said the ancient Greek philosophers, and this remains key advice for the man who would be in all ways wealthy. Know thyself, said the ancient Greek philosophers, and this remains the key advice for the man who would be in all ways wealthy. Matt, if you want to become wealthy, why do you have to know yourself?
Yeah, this is a important one, because if you don't know who you are and what you're good at, then it's going to be hard to get to successful things that you can do, right? If you're really bad at math, I would assume either take a math course before you become an accountant. Don't just jump into being an accountant. So, you know, knowing yourself, understanding what your capabilities are, right? If you understand yourself, then you'll probably be a lot more open to taking advice, meeting with other people. So it opens up a whole range of things and opportunities if you can actually look yourself in the mirror and have a real honest conversation with yourself about who you are, what you're good at, what you're not good at, who could help you.
This, my friends, is powerful stuff. Powerful. If you're out there today and you feel like you're stuck, ask yourself, rate yourself right now on a scale of 1 to 10, how good you're marketing. If 10 is perfect, you're dominating digital marketing, and 1 is terrible. Okay, if you're stuck right now, go to thebestseobook.com, thebestseobook.com, and download Search Engine Domination for free. Thebestseobook.com. You can download Search Engine Domination, which right now, Andrew, if you pull it up on Amazon and you look in the bookstore under the Search Engine Optimization category, it's the 3rd highest selling book on Amazon right now for search engines.
Check it out.
If you do that. Now, if you are saying, gosh, Clay, I'm stuck with my time management on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 is you're a master of your schedule, and 1, you have no idea what's going on. If you have no idea what's going on, you're struggling, go to thrivetimeshow.com/free-resources, and you can download every single book that I've ever written for free, and you can download the ebooks for free. And the new book, Matt, you left before the Christmas party, but EFOT, the literary agent for Elon Musk and The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F, Dr. Z surprised me and flew her in for the Christmas party. Andrew, is that not true?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
true.
that's cool.
Got to meet Aoife. That was really cool.
Yeah, the world's top literary agent was there. It was craziness. But
Yeah.
again, I mean, if you feel so, the new book I'm working on with EFOT called Trade Ups. That book is available to download for free as well soon. It's coming out there. So again, all these things are free to download right now. ThriveTimeShow.com/free resources. But Josh, if you're stuck and you aren't self-aware that your marketing is terrible, or that you're bad at time management, or that you're bad at accounting, what do you start to blame? Probably
Everything and everyone. And I think that's a great, great exercise for all of our listeners out there. And I think we can all improve on that, to go home and look in the mirror and say, hey, did I accomplish those things that I wanted to accomplish today? And if I did not, then I need to look solely at myself. I think we all have a tendency naturally to blame and excuse and this and that and whatever.
We do.
But if you can become disciplined, so back to Jocko, discipline equals freedom.
Yep.
Then you can get your things done. And if you're not getting them done, that's okay. If your website sucks, then your website sucks. But don't say, oh, it's the most beautiful website ever designed by my cousin's nephew's best friend that lives in the basement at his stepmother's house. Just say, hey, my website sucks. I need to improve it.
How is going to possibly take down the reviews? Matt, he's been hacked. How could he possibly take down his reviews if we don't alert the Thrive Nation to this terrible thing? We tried replying. Matt, you know how you can respond to the review? We try to respond, and it's like nothing. So I feel like he's not aware of it. So I think we have to say it. We have to optimize it. We have to talk about it and make sure that gets the message that somebody has hacked his account, because there couldn't possibly leave 251 reviews in 24 hours. I mean, it's just unnatural.
It's true.
It's just not natural. Yeah, it's
Not
You
natural.
might see Google step in there and do something.
Yeah, I've reached out to the Google guys, and I think what they're doing right now is they're still in the waiting
You
period.
reach out to the Googlers?
I did. I've reached out to the Googlers, and I think Google's a very great company, and they're usually on top of it. But sometimes, you have,
Sometimes.
and sometimes this probably isn't even the no. Now, the guy that I know who knows is going, this guy's, a difficult human. But it's not the one I know, because that I could understand if that left a bad review because he just doesn't like his life and he no longer works with a former. It's so weird too. He wasn't even my client. He's like works for my client. God,
Wow.
It's so sad.
It's kind of impressive.
Yeah. Okay.
You're so impactful, you get bad reviews from people you don't help.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay. So the next notable quotable is this. It's the great Edison failed 10,000 times before he made the incandescent electric light work. Do not become discouraged and quit if you fail once or twice before making your plan work. He says, the great Edison failed 10,000 times before he made the incandescent electric light work. Do not become discouraged and quit if you fail once or twice before making your plan work. See if you can, Matt, enlighten us. Share with us when you own an OXI Fresh, what kind of adversity do you face on not misfortune, but I mean, what kind of just ongoing struggle do you have? What's the ongoing? Is it reaching out and trying to get corporate accounts? Is it asking Google reviews? Is it trying to find good people? What's the ongoing struggle that you're going to have if you do buy an OXI Fresh? A winnable struggle, but what's an ongoing struggle?
Sure. Well, I think all those three you just mentioned are very good examples. I feel like the majority of people that I speak to don't come from a sales background. That doesn't mean they shouldn't own a business. It doesn't mean they shouldn't try to get the skill set to become very good salespeople as small business owners, right? But a lot of people take rejection hard. If you walk into someone's office and you say, hey, I'm Matt Kline with OXI Fresh. I'd love to have a conversation with you about your cleaning services. And they say, oh, I'm good. I don't need you. Leave, right? Right? That's most people never go back in that office because that experience was too hard for them, right? But getting over that, going back, saying, I know now's not the time, but when you're ready, I'd love it. Here's a coffee, right? And you go back the next week, right? And they get familiar with you. Eventually, they're going to say, hey, you know what? I'm tired of seeing you. What do you got to sell me? What can I actually do for you, right? It's that persistence, right? That's hard. That's a hard hill to climb, but that is the normal sales process that hasn't changed for 30, 50, 60, 100 years, okay? Employees, same thing. If you've never hired somebody, right, you're going to have to learn a little bit about yourself first. Who's the best type of person to work for you, right? What environment are you curating? Can someone fit into that very easily? Is it a struggle for someone to actually work for you, or are you saying that it's hard to have employees, right? So building that environment, leaning on people that you know, right? All of those things are struggles. Like there's big, very successful companies that go through hiring struggles. This is not a one problem for one company. This is something that every company that's successful in the world has always come up against, finding the right people that fit in that corporate structure or your company culture to make sure your business grows with that employee. So you have to learn that over time. You got to stick with it, learn about your business, learn about the people that work best with you. Right, over time, that's going to become a very easy thing for you to do. But yes, you are right. It is hard to kind of figure some of those things out. That's why you really, again, do the mirror test, lean on the people that you have, go through some trials and tribulations, because without it, you're just guessing.
Josh, you are the founder of Living Water Irrigation. You're a guy who has not figured out everything, but you're so relatable for our listeners because you've grown a business from $300,000 to $1.8 million. But you're also kind of oddly aspirational, and that you've been on the Kelly Clarkson show and Good Morning America this year.
Yes, sir.
And so you kind of are living this little bit of a Forrest Gump life, where it's like you're colliding with fame while also being Mr. Middle America. You know, you're kind of like Joe the Plumber kind of thing. It's a neat story, and I know you have a hot take for the listeners out there, but I encourage all the listeners, check out livingwaterirrigationok.com to learn more about your story. But what was your take?
Well, I have a question for Matt, but I didn't know. Were you trying to tell me I needed to run? Was that like the Forrest Gump thing, like run, Forrest, run? Was that?
You know, Forrest Gump.
Was it like a passive aggressive? Hey, you might need to go run.
You know, Forrest Gump like collided with all these famous events at one time.
Yes, sir.
That's kind of what you're doing.
No, it's been phenomenal. It's been amazing.
It's a fun thing.
Hey, Matt, I actually had a question for you. So for our listeners out there who are struggling with this exact thing, with the failure, with taking the rejection, with taking the no's and still pressing on and being and persevering, what actionable items? So it's great to, hey, every week we're going to walk back into that Dream 100 office. Every week we're going to go back in there with a cup of coffee. But what would you have any words of wisdom or encouragement or it's just something actionable for our listeners out there who are struggling with pressing on after the failure?
Yes, I do. And I think you should approach those things not looking at one individual thing as a success or failure, right? Just go in knowing that the first person you hire is probably not going to be the last person that's going to be with your company. Go in knowing that the first person you talk to about your business is probably not going to change the landscape of your profitabilities 5 years down the road. It could help, right? Go in knowing that it's a numbers game. The more people you talk to, the better it's going to be. If someone kicks you out of their office, laugh and challenge yourself. I'm going to make that person like me at least enough to open the door again, right? And that might be something that's very difficult, but it's not a real bad thing. Maybe it's just bad timing. Maybe at that exact moment, that person was going through something where you didn't really need to be in their space, just like the bad waiter or the bad waitress, right? And so challenge yourself. Talk to other people that have done it and maybe failed, or people that have done it and been very successful. And then at that point, you can say, can I call you maybe if I'm having a bad day? Or, just find people that are going through the same types of things so you can get on the same page. Not people that are complaining, people that are trying to make their lives better, trying to go through the process of evolving as a person and learn other things from them. You might be able to teach them something they've never known, and they might be able to teach you something you've never known. But you're never going to do it if you're on your own.
Your network is your net worth. When possible, avoid whiners and pursue winners. Look for winners and avoid those whiners. Thrive Nation, today's show has been hopefully a catalyst for you. And I want everybody to just let's write down 4 action items right now, okay? So action item number one, write down right now, what is a misfortune you have to move past today? And write it on a sheet of paper. Crumple that paper up and throw it away. Such as this, where I'm like, here I have helped a guy's business, a neat guy in Wichita, and he loves us, and I love him, and I busted and he loves us. And then the guy who works with him, who's not even like the one who paid me, who was unable to get anything done, he would not leave a bad review, but some other guy with a similar name did. And then you go, and then you get mad for a second, and then you go, yeah. And if you're an entrepreneur, you have bad stuff that happens, like, I don't know, every hour. I mean, Josh, your day's going well, and all of a sudden, and Matt, your day's going well, and all of a sudden one of your text calls and says, "Uh-oh." You ever had that call? Uh-oh.
Oh, it's lovely.
Oh, yeah.
Matt, I showed up at the job site without my pants. I mean, I'm sure you've heard everything, but it's like, and you go, how did you run out of gas on the side of the road? How did you get pulled over without your license? I mean, what? I mean, it's just crazy. So think about the thing you got to let go. Quote number 2, or thing number 2, action item number 2. Action item number 2. Deliberately seek out people that can coach you. You want to deliberately seek out people who have a high net worth, maybe a coach, maybe an accountant you can trust, an attorney you can trust, maybe a pastor you can trust, somebody that you see weekly in your life who can be that pick-me-up that you need, all right? Quote number 3, action item number 3 is make sure that you're self-aware. You know, like for myself, the other day yesterday, I was racing my wife inside the building, and I beat her because she had dress shoes on. But
did you also have dress shoes on?
No, I wear my normal shoes every day.
Oh, okay.
But we were going out. Matt, I think I've convinced my wife to buy a Mercedes Sprinter as our next car.
So good.
I like it.
Oh, my gosh. It's so tall and so big. I rented her the
Like
Ford Transit.
8 plus 8.
I rented her. It's 15-seat Ford passenger van. So remember her car? She had the blowout. So I went out and got her a different car, and I told her I was going to get her something really fast and hot. And so she thought I was going to get like a Ferrari rental or something. And I show back up with this 15-seat passenger
It's
van.
a fishbowl.
And she loves it. It is awesome. Seriously, she loves it. Now, the next action item, though, is you want to make sure you reach out to somebody who can help you in some way. All right? And I do not allow yourself to be stuck. When I was stuck with PR back in the day, I reached out to Michael Levine, the PR consultant of choice for Michael Jackson and Prince and Nike and President Clinton and President Bush. And a lot of people wouldn't do that, but I did. Why? Because I read his book, and I knew he could help me, and I paid him a lot of money, and he helped me. And then, bam, there he is at the Christmas party. I needed some help with the books, getting them in front of a national audience, so we reached out to EFOT, and then, bam, there she is at the party. Now, action item number 1, a final action item here for you, Mr. Matt, is you can't quit. If you get denied like Thomas Edison did, you can't quit. Just commit. You're not going to stop until you get there. Matt, if I have carpal tunnel, but I'm thinking about buying an OXI Fresh franchise, maybe I'm wearing that little wrist guard, that wrist protector, and I go to thrivetimeshow.com/OXI Fresh. Give me the motivation I need to fight through the carpal tunnel as I try to move my arthritic fingers to thrivetimeshow.com/OXI Fresh. I have arthritic thumbs on my smartphone. It's just the adversity I have to fight through, and I cannot be rejected. I cannot stop. I have to push through even 10,000 times like Thomas Edison did with the incandescent light bulb. I've got to go to thrivetimeshow.com/OXI Fresh. Give me the encouragement I need. Tell me what's at the other end of that rainbow.
If you don't do it, I'm going to be just like you a personally bad review.
That's correct.
All right. Well, without any further ado, we're getting the show with a boom. We're going to give the listeners time to go check out online. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom. Matt, you're a great American, my friend.
Guys, you were awesome. I appreciate you letting me come out there. I thought it was pretty great.